Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am in my bedroom because that's where I keep all of my read books. So these books here are all my read ones that I've kept. I actually have a little pile over there of ones I'm going to be unhauling off the shelves because I need room for all of this. My pile fell over, or it would stand about here. I am here to do my October and November wrap up. I was going to do the October wrap up, but I only read a couple of books and I didn't have a ton to say because I had been deep in a reading slump from September's books. But I have bounced back and I read 12 books in the month of November. 12 new books. I have a couple of rereads in there as well, but 2 new books. So I have a puppy laying next to me. And I need to find a better place to do this. It is a dark and gloomy day right now, so I'm trying out my new ring light. So if I am psychotically pale, know that this is my natural skin tone and that's all I got. But yeah, ring light is now lighting because it is the middle of the afternoon and it looks like it's almost sunset. It's so dark outside right now. And my son is calling. One moment, please. Okay. Money sucks. My child is having issues with school because they didn't let him know that he was missing a piece of paperwork for his financial aid, and so now I have to pay his entire semester out of pocket because they were dumb and I'm annoyed. But I still want to show you the books that I've been reading. So I'm going to turn my camera just a tiny bit this way. Besides, you don't need to see all the cords hanging off of my wall. I need to find a better place to do this. Like, I've got good bookshelves right there and right there. I just need to clean it up a little bit so that I can actually sit over there in the corner like I've done something wrong. Because that's what it looks like to me from here, because it's a little corner. But anyways, I have my ring light now, so I can do my plan with me's and film when it's dark and gloomy outside because it's stormy in Washington State in December. But so let's start with the October books. I'm going to put most of them here because I only have a handful. The first books that I read are the Broken Doll trilogy. Together, the 3 books are only like 150, 200 pages. I read them all in one day. They're weird. So the first one is called Broken Doll. The second one is called Damaged Doll. And the third one is called Damned Doll. These are books about a girl who dies in a car accident and comes back as a sentient sex doll. And it's a trilogy of novellas. I don't think there's much more to say about it. But it doesn't need to be a trilogy of novellas. It could have just been one short novel. But no, it's a trilogy of novellas. Don't read these if you have a weak stomach or a weak frame of mind or are triggered by 1,000 different things. The trigger warning list on this thing should be enormous, and I'm sure it is. But I read it anyways. In one day. In one sitting. For the most part. That's all I have to say about that one. The next one I read was A Woman in Me. Britney Spears's memoir. It makes me really understand the stuff that was going through the media at the time. I am old enough that I remember almost all of this stuff. Like, I don't really remember when she was in Mickey Mouse. I mean, I knew that she was there, but I really didn't watch it when I was like a kid, so I really didn't remember any of it. But I knew that it was important, and I knew that all these people that were Mickey Mouse Clubhouse stars ended up being musicians as well. but I didn't know any of the backstory behind it, obviously, because nobody did. And now that hearing the backstory makes me very aware of what she went through, and I feel bad for her, and I hope that she has a better life from now on out. As far as the book goes, there was parts of the book that were really well told, and there was parts of it that were really skimmed over. It was like, hey, all this crap happened, and it was a 250-page book. It was really quite short, and I understand why she didn't want to read it herself, but I think it really lost something in the interpretation when you're not the one reading your own memoir. She does read a little chunk of it at the beginning, but that's the whole reason I get audiobooks for memoirs, is so I can listen to the author read them, because it always just hits differently when they read them themselves. But because she didn't, I do think it kind of detracted a little bit from the story. And I also think that I know her editors had her take out like 50 pages, and I wonder if those 50 pages would have made it more full, because it was just, in a lot of ways, a very brief, horrific overview of her entire life. But it was interesting, and I'm glad I read it. All right, and then the only, book that I read in October was Belladonna. Nikki gave me this version because they don't have the ones that have the decorative covers in stores anymore. And the only one I have is the Fairy Loot edition, and I don't like that cover. If that is the UK cover like they normally do, I'm sorry, I like our covers better. And that would be the first time I've ever said that I actually like a cover better. This isn't the special edition one, this is just the normal one. My copy's up over there somewhere, and I actually might get rid of it because I did not buy Foxglove because I did not like the covers. But these ones are pretty, and I do have Foxglove in the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which goes really well with this one, and Wisteria is beautiful too. So this is about a girl who is an orphan, and she is getting shuttled from family member to family member because she comes with a large trust and people just want her money. She also has this weird gift where she can't die, but when she does get close to when she is dying, like if she was to be poisoned or fall down the stairs or get shot, I don't know, what have you, while her body is mending itself, she does get to speak with Death. And so Death is the main character in the book. And it's about her at a new family's estate trying her best to save her cousins. It's really cute. It's really good. I liked it a lot. I am looking forward to reading Foxglove King, but I got slightly derailed from reading Foxglove because of the rest of the books on my list. I do intend to read Foxglove soon, but I'm honestly not in a huge hurry because Wisteria has a year before it comes out. So I don't know if I will read it soon or if I will read it before Wisteria comes out. But I do want to finish the trilogy. It's really good so far, and I'm looking forward to Foxglove. Okay, and then as far as my rereads go for the month of October, I finished off the Cinder series. I'll put it here because it's in the boxes up there and I don't want to unbox them all. I did Fairest and Stars Above, which are the 2 sets of novellas. And then I also started reading ACOTAR again. Nikki really wants me to read the newer Sarah J. Maas books. And I haven't read the newer Sarah J. Maas books because I don't trust Sarah. I think that she's mean. And I don't like that she leaves things on cliffhangers. So when Silver Flames came out, I didn't read it because I thought it was the first of like a new trilogy. Turns out it's not. Turns out it's kind of a standalone. So I did not pick that one up, and apparently you have to read that one before you start Crescent City, and Crescent City 3 is coming out. So apparently I need to read it. So I'm rereading all the ACOTAR books so that I am ready for Silver Flames. Not that I haven't read the ACOTAR books twice this year already, that this is the 3rd reread I've done of this in this year, but I think I needed to get my hype back up for it because I read it too many times. And I'm not sure if this reread is helping or hurting it, because I am finding myself not caring about certain aspects. But because I know I'm going into Nesta and Cassian's story, I'm trying to, like, you know, just refresh my memory on all of the details of their story. So far, there's nothing that I feel like I have forgotten. I feel like I've acutely aware of this series, but I'm at the end of Echo War right now, so I was curious if I needed to read the little novella before I dove in, and Nikki gave me a very exuberant yes that I need to reread the novella as well. So that is, oh, my TV turned off. That is on the itinerary after I finish Echo War. But for the October portion of this video, I did restart that series. So into my thing, we're going to skip to the next month, and we're going to look at my reading wrap up for November. Now, the reason that I got derailed with this was because I read this. I liked it a lot. I like the happily ever after-ish thing that she likes to do. The last book ended on a massive cliffhanger, but luckily I only read it a couple of months ago, so it was easy to dive back in. I did not like the Caraval series, but I did like this series. I do have the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of this book and not of the other two, so I think I am going to try to either get the exclusives of the other two, which is probably not a great idea, or I will just, I mean, it is pretty, or I just bought the Fairy Loot editions, and so I'll just probably just deal with that. And so they'll be mismatched, but I'll have one pretty edition. But I liked it a lot. I liked it so much more than Caraval. I thought Caraval ended terribly. She's not good with endings. Stephanie Garber, please make better endings, because she just tries to cram too much into the last book and it ends up being a jumble of what the hell did I just read? So this one was kind of the same way. I don't want to give too much away, but this one is about Jax and Angelina. Is that right? Oh, Evangeline. I knew I was wrong, but close. This is about Jax and Evangeline and their sorted story. If you have not started the series and you liked Caraval, read it. If you have read Caraval and were meh about it, read it. If you read Caraval and you hated it, I probably wouldn't read it, because I mean, there's aspects of the same story in there. But I liked it. It was good. I am glad that I read it, and I will probably try something else that she writes. Next on my list is this. I blame this 100% on Nikki. Nikki, if you're watching this, this is very much 100% and completely your fault. So let's start from the beginning. We have Broken Bonds, book 1. This is about a girl who has some sort of power that we don't know what it is, and she is on the run because of something we don't know about. She has bonded mates that she is unbonded to. She's not physically bonded with them. She has to bond with them to make her powers complete and to raise their powers. But she's afraid of that because she knows that her power is very strong. At the end of the book, you get a little hint of her powers. But this is, I thought, would be more of a dark romance. This is more of a why choose semi-polyamorous story that definitely has a dark glint to it and is very much a fantasy romance, heavy on the romance for part of the series. This one, there's no smut in it. This one, this is the second book. This is Savage Bonds. There's a little bit of smut in it. This one, Blood Bonds, this is the third book. This has got a little bit more smut in it. This one is Force Bonds. Even more smut. This one is book 5. This is Tragic Bonds. You got it. More smut. And book 6. This is Unbroken Bonds. This is all the smut. They progressively get smuttier as you go through them, but they're very good books. They have a good plot line, and that is massively important to me. If a book does not have a good plot line, I don't like it. I am not somebody who can read smut just to read smut. I need to have plot with my smut. These books have plot with my smut. Well, I mean, most of them have plot with my smut. I mean, this book was kind of just smut. But it was good smut. I liked it. It was very fun to read. I do have a book that I will be on my December TBR that I just finished yesterday that was too much smut, not enough plot. This one was a good balance. Like I said, by the time that you got to the 6th book, though, you're invested in the relationships and you don't mind the little bit of smut that goes on in there. But I do find that I really, really like the magic fantasy aspects of these books, and I'm finding more and more that just the plain romance is not quite enough for me in a lot of cases, but I need an exceptional story if I'm going to have this much smut in it. And this was an exceptional story with magic. I like magic. Okay, moving on. That was an amazing series. If you have any questions about it, let me know. But I highly recommend it. But like I said, they get progressively smuttier as you go on. The first book has none. So if you want a chance to get to know the plot and the characters with absolutely no smut, or like mostly no smut, there's one little tiny scene in it, but it's not a full smut scene, it's just a little scene. If that makes any sense. I don't know what I just said. Start with the first book. If you like the first book, keep going because it gets better. Beware, every book has a massive cliffhanger, and they are mean cliffhangers, so be happy that the whole series is out. Okay. After that escapade, Iron Flames had just come out, and so what did I read when Iron Flames just comes out? I read A Fire Endless instead. Wasn't ready for Iron Flames. I'm still not ready for Iron Flames, but I did read A Fire Endless. This is written by Rebecca Ross. She wrote the Divine Rivals duology. She has several duologies. This was her second one. Her first one is on my phone and on my shelf, and I just have not started it yet. I really liked the what is it called? River Enchanted. I really liked River Enchanted. This one was okay. That one I gave like a good solid 4 stars. This one's like a 3. It was okay. I did like the story. I did like how it ended out. I did like the wrap up to the duology. I just felt like this one was a lot weaker than the first one, which makes me a little bit concerned about her ability to finish series in 2 books. Which makes me a little bit worried about Ruthless Vows because I really liked Divine Rivals. So we'll see. Did like it. It's a solid book. If you liked River Enchanted, give it a try. I don't know about her other books. I'm getting another phone call. One moment, please. Okay, sorry if everything got moved around. They were watching a high-speed chase live in action off the streets and had to tell me about it. And now my daughter's knocking on the door. Okay. So I found a house on Facebook that is like a plan so you can build this house. It's perfect for me and my children who are all adults. Give me a library, gives them each a bedroom with their own bathroom. We would never have to see each other if we didn't want to. Okay. Anyways, now that I'm done being interrupted for 2 minutes, dog is sleeping, cats are sleeping, Elise has left me alone, and my son has stopped calling. Let's try to finish this wrap up. All right. So I put off the book as long as I could. There's a girl on TikTok who does silent book wrap-ups. And this is one of those ones where I'm like, oh my... If you want to talk about the book, send me a DM on Instagram. We'll talk about the book. Because I can't talk about it here. Because there's spoilers. And it just came out. I can't spoil it. And if you haven't read Fourth Wing, I can't spoil it. Okay. After that, I have a couple books left. The first one I read was Vampire Kisses. This is for my unhaul project that I just finished that you have seen. So I did read this. It was very cute. I liked it a lot, but it's definitely too young for me because it's too big of a series for me to invest time in for something that I have just aged out of. But it's very cute. If you're younger than me and you're still into the younger YA group and you like vampires and you're like nostalgic for like Twilight times without Twilight, I would suggest this. It's good. I liked it. I'm still gonna unhaul it because it's definitely not for me, but yeah. Okay, this one is a bit of a spoiler for the next unhaul video. So I'm only going to show you what it is and tell you that I read it because I don't want to spoil the video. So here's the book. It's in the next unhaul video that I am currently working on. All I'm going to tell you is that I finished it. I'm not going to tell you what I thought of it. I'm not going to tell you if I unhauled it or not. That will be for another video. If you want to see what I think of this, go to that one. Now, the last book that I read this month, which I finished on the last day of the month, was this one. This one is Iris Kelly Doesn't Date. I love this trilogy so much. It is so cute. If you've not read Delilah Green yet and you like funny, cute, sapphic romance with just enough smut to make you giggle, but not so much that all you're reading is smut, read this trilogy. It's really good. This is the last installment of it, and I'm really sad that it's the end of the series, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Ashley Herring Blake writes next. They were all so cute. The first one is a photography story. The second one is a baking story, baking/renovation story, and this one is about plays. Thespian story. It was so cute. So cute. I love them. They are automatic buys for me. And if you are an audiobook listener, I did a lot of audio. I did most of this in audio. The narrator's really good. So that was it. That was my couple of books for October and my 12 books for November. All my rereads, it's just ACOMAF so far, and then I'm working on ACO War right now. So I literally read one reread over the course of the month because it's a long book, and I got most of the way through ACO War also. So Court of Rings and Ruin is close to being finished, but not quite. So nothing honestly interesting to tell you for rereads. Almost everything was a new for me. And it was nice to be able to have a good month where I read some amazing books that I absolutely loved. If you guys have any good suggestions on something that I might like, you know, after hearing about these ones, let me know, because I would love to have another short series somewhere between a duology and heck, even a standalone. So anywhere between like 1 and 6 books that has magic in it, that's got some smut but not a ton, or at least has a really good plot behind it. Let me know, because that's what I like the most, is those stories that are heavy on plot. And I always like the magical realism, fantasy type books. I haven't read a full fantasy in a while, but I'm looking forward to having a little bit more of that. And now my third child is calling. So I am going to say goodbye, and I will see you in the next video.